Hello everyone, I'm Bubbles from Susan's family. Today, I'm show how to make the Sulphur Cosmos Pullover from Spirits of Nature series. The electronic chart can be found on our website. Search for en.susudii.com to view it. This sweater is divided into the main part and decorations. First, we will make the main part, then crochet the decorations and sew them on. This sweater comes in different sizes, and each size will be explained separately. Let's start by learning how to make the main part. The main part consists of the front piece, the back piece, joined together, the sleeves, the collar and the hem. Let's start with the front piece. It is divided into the body, the chest piece, and the neck and shoulder. Start by crocheting the body. We will start with the foundation chain method, working back and forth in rows. The stitches used include chain, single crochet, double crochet. Now, let's get started. For convenience in watching, I will demonstrate using other yarn. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the website of this product and the paper chart. First, start by chaining the corresponding number according to the chart. I have fewer chains for my swatch here. Once the corresponding number of chains is completed, the foundation chain is done. Next, we'll crochet the first row. Make one turning chain, then start from the second stitch from your hook. Pick up the top strand of the chain to crochet. Work a single crochet first. Then work another single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Next, chain 5. Then skip 3 chains. Work from the next adjacent stitch. Crochet 3 single crochets in sequence. Five chains. Then skip 3 chains again. Work 3 single crochets in sequence from the next adjacent stitch. Continue following the chart to complete this row. Finish the last 2 single crochets, and the first row is completed. Now, move to the second row. Start by chaining 3. These 3 chains count as one double crochet, corresponding to the last single crochet of the previous row. Turn the work. Then work a double crochet in the next adjacent stitch. Note that after turning, the stitch is on the top left position. Chain 1 after completing. Then pick up the chain space and work a single crochet. Make another slip stitch. Then work a double crochet in each of the next 3 single crochets on the left side. Continue following the chart to complete this row. After finishing the last 2 double crochets, the second row is completed. We have the clearer texture side of this row as the right side of the entire piece, which is when the starting tail is on the right hand side. Continue to crochet the third row. Make 3 chains. Turn the work. When working back and forth, turn the work after completing the turning chain. Make 2 more chains. Then work a single crochet in the left side chain space. Work a single crochet in the single crochet. Work a single crochet in the next adjacent chain space. Then crochet 5 chains. Continue following the chart to complete this row. For the final double crochet, by picking up 2 strands from the third chain of the turning chain from the previous row. After completing this, the third row is done. Now let's crochet row 4. The method for this row is similar to the second row. Start with a chain 1 as turning chain. Turn the work. Then work a single crochet. Followed by a chain. Then crochet a double crochet in each of the single crochets. Continue referring to the chart to complete this row. For the final single crochet, working by pick up 2 strands of the beginning chain. After completing this, row 4 is done. We can consider rows 1 to 4 as one repeat. The body is made by repeating this set of repeats. Now refer to the chart and complete the remaining repeats for the body. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. That finishes the body. After completing the body, let's move on to crocheting the chest piece. Continue crocheting back and forth from the body. The new stitch technique used is the DC 2-in-1. Now, let's get started. Start by crocheting the first row. Continue crocheting using the yarn tail from the body. Make 3 chains to start. Turn the work. Then in the same position, crochet another double crochet. These 3 chains and double crochet count as a special DC 2-in-1. Continue following the chart. Crochet until the last stitch. After you finish, crochet 1 DC 2-in-1 at the end, which means crocheting 2 double crochets into the same stitch. This completes the first row. Now, refer to the chart. Crochet all the way down to the last row. The crocheting method is similar to the body. Follow the method we did before. Refer to the chart and crochet. Once done, crochet the last row. Each size starts slightly differently here. For the small size, you need to carry the yarn. Other sizes can be crocheted normally following the chart. I'll show you how to carry the yarn first. Enlarge the loop. Take the current yarn ball and thread it through the loop. Then tighten. Turn the work. And then pull the yarn end through the corresponding position. Carried yarn be slightly loose. Carrying the yarn is done. When you need to carry the yarn later, do it in the same way. Make a chain to start. Then crochet following the chart. Please notice, roughly in the middle. You need to crochet single crochets continuously. Do not crochet chains. Crochet all the way down this row. After crocheting, for the smaller size, make a slip stitch. The slip stitch in the chart is an oval shape, indicating not to pull too tight. For other sizes, crochet normally following the chart. This completes the last row. Don't cut the yarn. Up to this point, the chest piece is completed. Next, let's learn how to crochet the neck and shoulder. This is divided into the left part and the right part. Here, left and right refer to the actual left and right when worn. Start with the yarn tail from the chest piece. Crochet the left part. After completing that, crochet the right part. The new stitch used here is the half double crochet. Now, let's get started. Continuing with the previous yarn, start by crocheting row 1. For the smaller size, carry the yarn across first. Other two sizes should be crocheted following the chart. After carrying the yarn for the smaller size, crochet according to the chart as well. After completing the last 2 double crochets, crochet 1 half double crochet. Finally, crochet 1 slip stitch. This completes row 1. For the following rows, please crochet following the chart. When you need to carry the yarn, follow the method learned earlier. Carry the yarn to the corresponding position and crochet. After crocheting the entire left part, fasten off the yarn. Then weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. You can weave in a few more stitches. That concludes the left part. Next, we will crochet the right part. You need to join new yarn and crochet. Make sure the right side of the piece is facing you. Then, join the yarn at the SC after skipping some number of SCs following the slip stitch. Here, the position with my swatch here is random. After joining the yarn, crochet according to your chart. Now, refer to the chart, and crochet the entire right part. After crocheting, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. This concludes the right part. Both sides of the neck and shoulder are now complete. Up to this point, the front piece is also complete. Next, let's start the back piece. It is also divided into the body, the chest piece, and the neck and shoulder. The crochet method is almost the same as the front piece. Follow the method we did before, and crochet according to the chart. This concludes the back piece. After both the front and back pieces are crocheted, join them together. First, join the shoulders, then join the body sides. When joining, place the right sides of the front and back pieces together. Then pick up the neck and shoulder stitches to crochet single crochets, leaving an interval of 1-2 stitches between them. Chain as bridge. Let's demonstrate the method with a swatch. Take out the front and back pieces. Here, I will use a swatch, using one side as an example. The crocheting method is the same. Place the right sides of the front and back pieces together. Join the yarn on any side. Insert into the stitch. Then insert into the back piece stitch. Pull the yarn through. Make a chain to start. Then work a single crochet in the same position. Crochet another chain. Then skip 1-2 stitches. Work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Insert into both the front and back pieces at the same time. Crochet another chain and continue crocheting. If you encounter a slip stitch, you can crochet in the same insertion position as the slip stitch. Continue until the shoulder connection is complete. For the insertion position here, if you can't find it exactly, you can roughly insert the hook, as long as the piece is flat after crocheting. For the turning chain position, pick up 1-2 strands of the chain and insert. After completing, leave a little yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail. This completes one side of the shoulder joining. Next, follow the same method to join the other side of the shoulder. This completes the shoulder joining. Now let's move on to the joining of the body sides. The method is the same as for the shoulders. Place the two pieces with the right sides together. Just here, start from the side of each row, picking up stitches or turning chain to crochet. Work chains between them. Now, let's get started. You can start by picking up and inserting at the turning chain. If there are any yarn tails, weave them in. Here, work 3 chains between the single crochets. Then insert into the stitch and work a single crochet. Three chains. Continue in the same way. Join the sides as well. After completing, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. That's how you join the sides. Next, let's learn about crocheting the sleeves. There are 2 same sleeves. Each is divided into the sleeve cap, the sleeve body, the sleeve cuff, and decorations. Start by crocheting the sleeve body. Use the foundation chain method. Work back and forth along the foundation chain. The method is almost the same as for the front and back pieces. Refer to the chart as you crochet. After that, crochet the sleeve body. When crocheting the sleeve body, you need to change colors. I will show you the method. First, refer to the chart. Complete all the rows before changing colors. After crocheting, the next row requires a color change. Here, I will demonstrate the method with a swatch. Leave a bit of tail and cut the yarn. Then take the new yarn and join it. Continue following the chart to complete this row. While crocheting, weave in the ends on the wrong side. After finishing, leave a tail and fasten off the yarn. Then rejoin the previous tail and continue crocheting. Make sure to weave in the ends on the wrong side. This is the method for changing colors and rejoining the yarn. When you need to change colors on the sleeve body, follow this method. Now, refer to the chart and complete the sleeve body. After finishing, leave a tail, fasten off the yarn, and weave in the ends. Once the sleeve body is completed, connect it. With the right sides facing each other, crochet along the sides of the sleeve body and the sleeve cap. The method is the same as joining the body sides. Follow the previous joining method to connect it properly. This completes the tutorial for the sleeve body and the sleeve cap. Next, let's learn how to crochet the sleeve cuff. Crochet in rounds along the last row of the sleeve body. The new stitches used are DC2 tog and CH1 picket. Now, let's get started. Find the turning chain of the sleeve body in last row. Take out the corresponding color of yarn. Join the yarn first. Make 3 chains to start. Then crochet a DC2 tog. Work an unclosed double crochet in each of the adjacent 2 stitches. Weave in the ends. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all the loops once. This completes the DC2 tog. Continue following the chart to crochet this round. After finishing the last DC2 tog, join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain. Pull tight. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn, then weave in the ends. This completes the first round. Now let's crochet the second round. Join the yarn at the top of the beginning chain from the previous round. Make 3 chains. Then crochet a chain. Skip the next stitch. Work a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Crochet another chain. Continue following the chart to complete this round. After completing the last double crochet, join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain. Pull tight. Don't cut the yarn. This completes the second round. Now, please follow the chart to crochet the third round. Finish with a slip stitch. Don't cut the yarn. Now let's crochet round 4. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work a single crochet. Then skip the corresponding number of stitches. Work 7 double crochets in the next stitch. The number of stitches to skip varies for each size. In my swatch, the number of skipped stitches is random. Refer to the chart for the specific number of stitches to skip. After completing, continue skipping the corresponding number of stitches. Work a single crochet. Continue following the chart to complete this round. After completing the last 7 double crochets, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. This completes round 4. Now let's crochet round 5. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work a single crochet. Then start crocheting from the second stitch of the 7 double crochets. Work 5 double crochets sequentially. Work a chain in between. Then, work a single crochet in the left single crochet stitch. Continue following the chart to complete this round. After completing it, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes round 5. Now let's crochet round 6. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. First, work a loose slip stitch in the same position as the previous round slip stitch. Then work a single crochet in the adjacent double crochet. Next, work a CH1 picket. Chain 1 first. Then pick up a strand in front of the stitch and 1 strand underneath. Work a slip stitch. This completes the CH1 picket. Then work a single crochet in the left chain space. Work another single crochet in the adjacent double crochet. Work another CH1 picket. Continue referring to the chart and work this round completely. After completing the final picket, join with a slip stitch to the beginning slip stitch braid. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the ends. This completes round 6. The cuff is now finished. Now, let's move to make the decorations. Crochet flowers on the sleeve body row with color changes. Now, let's get started. Here, I will demonstrate at any spot. Refer to the chart and make a flower. Locate 2 double crochets approximately in the middle. Join the yarn from the second double crochet stitch. Then work 3 chains. Next, pick up double crochet to work 2 double crochets. Work 3 chains again. Work another slip stitch in the same position. 3 chains. Then pick up the middle position of those 2 double crochets entry points. Work 2 double crochets. Three chains. Work another slip stitch in the same position. And 3 chains. Next, pick up the other double crochet and work 2 double crochets. Three chains. Work another slip stitch in the same position. 3 chains. Next, pick up the position between these 2 double crochets. Work 2 double crochets. Three chains. Finally, in the same position, where you joined the yarn, work another slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. This completes one flower. Now follow the same method and complete the remaining flowers. This finishes the decorations. Finally, join the sleeves to the armholes. The joining method is the same as before. The only difference is the insertion position. Let me explain using a finished product. You can first temporarily secure the sleeve to the armhole position. Make the sleeves and the front and back pieces are both facing you on the wrong side before securing. If you have stitch markers, use them to secure. If not, you can use yarn tails to temporarily secure. First, secure the underarm joining position with the joining point of the front and back pieces. Finally, secure the shoulders. Finally, find a few points in between to secure. Secure them well before crocheting. For picking up space of the beginning stitches, or the remaining 1-2 strands of stitch on the sleeves. For the sides of the front and back pieces, pick up stitches, or the entire double crochet and turning chain. Insert and crochet. Here, crochet using single crochets. Work 3 chains between each single crochet. Now follow the methods we did before. Join the sleeves. That concludes the tutorial for the sleeves. Next, let's move to the collar. Here, I'll use a finished product to explain. First, crochet a round of single crochets round the front and back pieces. For stitch positions, just directly pick up the stitches to crochet. For slip stitches, just pick up the V-shaped braid to crochet. If you reach a double crochet and its turning chain, you can pick up the entire turning chain or double crochet to crochet. For chain spaces, pick up the chain spaces to crochet. You can refer to the chart for the entry points, or you can roughly estimate the entry points. Crochet the corresponding number of single crochets after completing for the second round. It's similar to the last round of the sleeve cuff. Just follow the chart to crochet, finish with a slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn, and weave in the ends. That concludes the tutorial for the collar. Finally, let's move to the hem. The hem is crocheted in rounds along the foundation chain of the front and back pieces. I will show you the way with the swatch. With swatch here, position the foundation chain on the top. Join the yarn at the same entry point as the first single crochet of the back piece first row. This means joining the yarn by picking up the remaining 2 strands of the chain. Work 3 chains. Then, in the adjacent stitch, pick up the remaining 2 strands from the chain and crochet a double crochet. Crochet a double crochet in the adjacent chain space. After completing that, work a double crochet in each of the 3 chains on the left side. Now, please follow this method and refer to the chart to finish this round. After crocheting, finish with a slip stitch. Then crochet the second round. Please finish it on your own. That concludes the hem. Up to this point, the main body is also completed. Finally, let's make the decorations. These include the Tibetan snow lotus, daisies, calyxes, buds and stems. First, let's learn how to crochet the Tibetan snow lotus. Use the adjustable magic ring method. Follow the magic ring in rounds. The stitch techniques used include SC2 in 1. Now, let's get started. Start with adjustable magic ring. Then, crochet 6 single crochets into the ring. After completing, close the ring. Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. This completes the first round. Now, let's crochet the second round. Chain 1 for beginning chain. Then, work in the same stitch where you joined. Work a single crochet. Then, work a SC2 in 1. That means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. After completing, continue to follow the chart to finish this round. Finish with a slip stitch. This completes the second round. Now, let's crochet the third round. Take a look. A stitch has these 2 strands. The one closer to you is the front loop. The one farther away is the back loop. This round is worked into the back loops. Chain 1 to begin. Work at SC2 in 1 first. Then, work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Continue to refer to the chart to complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off yarn, then weave in the ends. This completes the third round. Now, let's crochet round 4. For this round, crochet in the remaining half loop from round 2. Join the yarn first. Chain 1 to begin. Then, work a single crochet in the same stitch. Chain 3 next. Work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Chain 3 again. Continue to refer to the chart to complete this round. After working the last 3 chains, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight, leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn, and weave in the ends. This completes round 4. Now, let's work on round 5. Join the yarn at the first stitch of the third round. Chain 7. Then, crochet slip stitches from the second to last stitch. After completing, work a slip stitch in each of the next 2 adjacent stitches of the third round. Then chain 7. Work slip stitches from the second to last stitch. After completing, continue working a slip stitch in the next adjacent stitch in the third round. Chain 7 again. Then, from the second to last stitch, work slip stitches. After completing, in the third round, work a slip stitch in each of the next 2 adjacent stitches. Continue referring to the chart. Work this round completely. After completing, in the same position, where you joined the yarn, work another slip stitch to connect. This completes round 5. Now, let's crochet round 6. Make a chain as the beginning chain. Then pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain. Work 2 single crochets. One half double crochet. Then work 2 double crochets. Insert the hook in the same position as the first slip stitch. Work 7 double crochets. After completing, rotate the piece. Insert the hook in the same position as the slip stitch and crochet. Work 2 double crochets first. One half double crochet. Finally, work 2 single crochets. After completing, you can see that it is symmetrical to the previous stitches. We consider the completed part as one petal. Next, crochet a petal in the adjacent chain's position. Work 2 single crochets first. One half double crochet. And 2 double crochets. Then, in the same position as the slip stitch, work 7 double crochets. After completing, rotate the piece. Crochet the stitches symmetrically on the other side. This way, another petal is completed. Continue in this way, and crochet all the petals according to the chart. After completing the last petal, join with a slip stitch to the first petal's first single crochet. Pull tight, leave about 50 centimeters of yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. The petals are now crocheted. Round 6 is also completed. Next, crochet the edging, which is also round 7. First, join the yarn in the same position, where you made the slip stitch. Then crochet a chain. Next, work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. A chain. And continue with a single crochet in the next adjacent stitch. Continue crocheting according to the chart. When you reach the 7 double crochets in the same position, work a single crochet in each of the first 3 double crochets, with a chain in between. After that, crochet 2 chains. Then, work 2 single crochets in the middle stitch, followed by 2 chains in between. And crochet 2 more chains. Then work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Continue following the chart, and complete the stitches on this petal. After completing, make a slip stitch in the second single crochet of the third round, which is the same insertion position as the slip stitch in round 5. Then, work a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the adjacent petal. Then, crochet this petal using the same method as the previous one. After completing, make a slip stitch in the fourth stitch of the third round. This is the same insertion position as the slip stitch in round 5. Now, refer to the chart. Complete the remaining part. After finishing the stitches on the last petal, make a slip stitch in the first stitch of the third round. Then, make a slip stitch in the joining position. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn, and weave in the ends. This completes round 7. One Tibetan snow lotus is now crocheted. Next, refer to the chart and crochet the remaining Tibetan snow lotuses. Set them aside after completing. That concludes the Tibetan snow lotus tutorial. Now let's crochet the small daisies. Refer to the chart and crochet the first 3 rounds. After completing, crochet the last round. Now, let's get started. First, join the yarn. For this round, pick up the front loops and crochet. Crochet 4 chains. Then, from the second stitch from your hook, crochet slip stitches. In the same position, crochet another slip stitch. Crochet 4 chains again. Then, from the second stitch from your hook, crochet a slip stitch. After completing, in the adjacent stitch, pick up the front loop and crochet a slip stitch. Crochet 4 chains. Then, work back with slip stitches. After completing, crochet another slip stitch in the same position. 4 chains. Work back with slip stitches. Continue referring to the chart and complete this round. After completing, crochet another slip stitch at the starting position. Then leave a tail about 30 centimeters long and fasten off the yarn. This completes one daisy. Now follow the same method to crochet all the daisies. That concludes the daisy tutorial. Next, let's learn how to crochet the calyx. We will also use adjustable magic ring method. Follow the magic ring in rounds. The stitches and methods have been demonstrated before. Refer to the chart and crochet it. That concludes the calyx tutorial. Next, let's learn how to crochet the flower bud. The flower bud chart is shown in a table. Let me first explain the table. Our plus number in the table indicates the round number. H plus number indicates the row number. The increases and decreases explanation column shows the stitches needed for that round. And the increase or decrease situation. The total stitches column indicates the total stitch count in this round after completing the round. The new stitches used for the flower bud include X single crochet, VSC 2-in-1, and ASC 2 tog. Now, let's get started. Start with adjustable magic ring. Then crochet 6 single crochets in the ring. Close the ring after finished. Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. This completes the first round. Now, let's crochet the second round. Start with the group inside the parentheses. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then crochet at SC 2-in-1. This completes the group inside the parentheses. Continue following the table to finish this round. Finish with a slip stitch. This completes the second round. Now, refer to the table. Complete rounds 3 to 7 as well. For the even rounds, crochet 1 stitch in each stitch. The stitch count should match the previous round. Now, crochet these rounds on your own. After completing, move on round 8. Start by crocheting 3 single crochets. Then crochet a SC2 tog. Insert into the front loops of the 2 stitches on the left side. Yarn over, pull the yarn through, yarn over and draw through once more. This completes the SC2 tog. Continue following the table to complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. This completes round 8. Now, crochet the final round. First, stuff the some filler cotton. Then crochet the final round. Finish with a slip stitch. Leave a tail about 30 centimeters long and fasten off the yarn. You can add a bit more stuffing through this small hole. Thread the end of the yarn onto the sewing needle. Close the opening. Pick up the front loop of each stitch and pass through. Pull tight. The closing is now complete. Leave the yarn tail for now. This completes one flower bud. Next, using the same method, finish the remaining flower buds. That's how you make the flower buds. Next, assemble the flower buds with the calyx. Take one flower bud and one calyx. Place the ending position of the flower bud into the calyx. Then sew them together using the reserved yarn tail from the calyx. After sewing, weave in the ends inside the flower bud. One flower bud and calyx are now assembled. Next, assemble the remaining ones. Finally, sew them all to the main part. Let's take a look. First, sew 3 Tibetan snow lotuses at the hem of the front and back pieces. Then, sew 1 daisy between each Tibetan snow lotus. When sewing, overlap with the hem slightly. Now, I'll demonstrate the sewing method using a Tibetan snow lotus. Here, I'll use a swatch to demonstrate. Thread the reserved yarn tail into the sewing needle. Then, pick up the loops on the wrong side of the flower, and sew through the loops on the main part. When sewing, for each petal, do not sew the edge. After sewing, tie a knot and weave in the ends on the wrong side. This completes the sewing of the Tibetan snow lotus. Next, follow the same method at the corresponding positions to sew all the Tibetan snow lotuses. After sewing all of them, proceed to sew the daisies. The sewing method is basically the same as for the Tibetan snow lotus. Please sew them on your own. This concludes the sewing of the Tibetan snow lotuses and daisies. Next, let's sew the buds and calyxes. Use the reserved yarn tail from the bud to sew. Sew only the part that is close to the main part. The direction of the bud and the distance from the flower can be adjusted according to your preference. Now, I will show you the sewing method. Thread the reserved yarn tail from the bud onto the sewing needle, then sew it to the main part. After sewing, weave in the ends inside the bud. This completes the sewing of the bud and calyx. Next, let's crochet the stem. First, join the yarn at the beginning position of the calyx. Then crochet slip stitches along the main part. Continue crocheting a little below the flower. The length here can be crocheted according to your preference. After completing, leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn, and weave in the ends. Weave in the yarn tail inside the clothes. This completes the stem. Finally, on the upper left of the front piece, sew on one lotus, one daisy, the bud and so on. The method is the same as for the hem. You can complete these on your own. Up to this point, the making method for this clothes is fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next tutorial.